How y'all doing? They gave me a hard job because time is up, and I like to talk. I'm an organizer with the All-African People's Revolutionary Party. I'm also a member of the African Party for Independence of Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde, and I'm a member of the Coordinating Council of Black Alliance for Peace. And first of all, I want to just thank everybody for your participation in African Liberation Day. I want you to understand that African Liberation Day is an institution and that this is happening all over the world. Everywhere that African people are, they are organized and they are commemorating African Liberation Day. Part of my job here today was supposed to be kind of to summarize what you have heard. And I only know one way to do that real quickly. So I want y'all to pay attention. Smash imperialism. Smash capitalism. Smash patriarchy. Smash colonialism. Smash neocolonialism. Smash racism. And smash Zionism. 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 We have heard a few examples of the struggles that are taking place in Africa. These examples are the highlights of the struggle, where progress is being made, where victories are being won. But we want you to understand that the struggle is not just taking place in these places. Everywhere in Africa, our people are fighting to be free of imperialism and colonialism and neocolonialism. We have had examples of the struggles that are being waged by our people throughout these Americas. We've given you the premier examples of people waging struggle against imperialism, but we want you to understand that everywhere in the Western Hemisphere where there is oppression and exploitation of the native people, of the African people, of the poor people, there is a struggle taking place against imperialism. We heard about the fight in the belly of the beast. This is your fight. And we tell people all the time, the best thing you can do to stand in solidarity with Cuba and Venezuela and Nicaragua is to destroy imperialism in the United States of America. The Cubans don't need you to wage the Cuban Revolution. In Nicaragua, they know how to wage the Nicaraguan Revolution. In Venezuela, they understand how to wage the Venezuelan Bolivarian Revolution. The question is, do you know, do you understand what your role is in this revolution that our people around the world are fighting? These are different fronts of the same struggle. And the world is counting on us here in the belly of the beast to do our job. We have to get organized. We have to get organized. We have to get organized. We've been saying that The biggest problem that we have in our movement is the failure to understand the exact nature of the forces that are in contradiction. A failure to understand the nature of imperialism, the nature of neocolonialism, the nature of patriarchy. We look at something, we see its outlines, we see its surface, we think we understand it, and we go in to fight. But there's something more than an outline. There's something more than a surface. There's something more than a perception. There's an essence in there. There's an essence inside of that we must understand if we're going to defeat them. I give you an example. Everybody here all day long been talking about getting rid of neocolonialism. And everybody calls those puppets in Africa the neocolonialists. They call the puppets in City Hall the neocolonialists. They call the puppets in the Congress the neocolonialists. They are not the neocolonialists. The neocolonialists are the capitalist and imperialist multinational corporations and military complexes that oppress and exploit the masses of the people. The puppets is just that, puppets. And if we want to defeat neocolonialism, we're not going to do it by attacking the puppets. We have to attack the system. We have to destroy the system that hires the puppets. We have to destroy the capitalists who pay the puppets. We have to fight the Zionists who undergird the puppets. We have to know the exact nature of our enemy. The enemy does not just attack us from outside. The enemy is not just somebody knocking at the door trying to come in your house and take what you got. Because you, we, us also have enemies inside of our house that we must fight. And even worse, we have enemies inside of our own bodies that we must fight. We have the capitalist ideas inside of us. And we bring these ideas into these organizations and think we're going to use them to fight against our enemies. No, you are doing the job of your enemy. You are doing the work of your enemy. Now, you can do it consciously and get paid for it. But most of us do it unconsciously. We ain't even getting paid. So we have to understand the exact nature of the struggle we are engaged in. Our theme this year is Pan-African, Africa for the Africans. Pan-African unity across borders in the battle for socialism and against imperialism. I am not going to talk about all that. I want to talk about unity. Because some of us think that us 5 people over here engaged in an action against Zionism is enough. And some of us think that in order to fight imperialism, I have to come up inside of these organizations and gain power in those organizations. And that's how to prepare ourselves to fight against the enemy. And some of us think that the things that I do as an individual, since I'm reading and I'm studying and I'm talking to people, that is enough. You think that your separated activity, your isolated actions are enough to defeat our enemy. You don't understand our enemy. The only way to defeat our enemy is for your action and your action and your action and my action to all come together into one action, conscious action against a singular enemy until they are defeated. We must unite. Not because we like each other. Not because we always agree with each other. We have to unite in order to defeat our enemies. We have to unite in order to defeat our enemies. We have to unite in order to liberate our people. We have to unite in order to smash Zionism. I'm going to end on this one. Because especially in the African community, we've been hearing all kind of stuff. Palestinians don't like black people. Let's say it's true. Palestinians are fighting the people that's kicking your ass. Oh, excuse me, I'm in church. Palestinians are fighting your enemies. Palestinians are fighting the imperialism that stole you from Africa and brought you here and made you think you was American. Palestinians are fighting for your freedom. Why are you not fighting with them? We say the Palestinian revolution is our revolution. We don't see any distinction between the struggle of the Palestinians and the struggle of the Africans. And we know the struggle of the Palestinians better than anybody else because they've always been the only neighbor of Africa. That's where Palestine is, you know. It's the only place in Africa where you can walk off the continent. You got to go through Palestine. It's like that today, and it was like that 100,000 years ago. When all people left the continent, every single one of them went through Palestine. And ever since then, the forces of evil, the forces of oppression, the forces of exploitation have sought to conquer Palestine. Palestine has been conquered by everybody. The Babylonians, the Mesopotamians, the Romans, you name it. They came into Palestine because that's the crossroads between Africa and the world. This didn't just start with them Zionist pigs that are there today. This has been going on for a long time. And it's time to bring it to an end. Palestine is the litmus test. All y'all say, you anti-imperialist? Well, if you anti-imperialist, you better be anti-Zionist. I told you I didn't have much time, and I'm sure I've gone over. But I want to be free. I want to be liberated. And in order to do that, we've got to reach an understanding among ourselves. You cannot learn what you need to know to engage in this struggle by yourself. You can read all the books you want, but you can't learn the tactics of this revolution by yourself. You can't learn how to politically educate the people by yourself. Whatever it is, you're doing it by yourself, you're doing it wrong. We got to be in an organization that is working for the liberation of the people. We must be organized. Political education is a collective process. So you got to study with somebody else. And studying with somebody else is not enough because you got to take those things that you learn in your study with somebody else and put them to practice in them streets out there. This is the nature of the struggle. It's a theory, it's a practice. One without the other is worthless. So we take this question of Zionism. We're talking about the historical moment. I know I'm out of time. We're talking about this historical moment where the illegal racist state of Israel is in its weakest state that has ever been since the time it was established. Nobody in the world supports them except the pigs who ordered them to do what they're doing. This is not an Israeli war. This is a U.S. war. The U.S. is not sponsoring it. They're orchestrating it. They're not serving the interests of poor Jews from Eastern Europe. They're serving the interests of U.S. imperialism, because that's the fort of the U.S. imperialists in that part of the world. Y'all remember them cowboy movies? Every time they went to go kill some Indians, they would put a fort out there in the middle of the Native Americans' land. That's what Israel is. That's what it is. And it must be destroyed. And this is the historical moment to destroy it. Because when you destroy Israel, you remove the U.S.'s proxy in the region, and you weaken imperialism in a way that it has never been weakened before. So I will end with this. Last year, we spent a lot of time in the encampments and in the rallies and in the demonstrations with the Palestinians. Almost every day we were there. And when we wasn't there, they called us and said, "Where you at?" And during that period, I learned this thing. They say that if you encounter something 7 times, it slips past your conscious mind into your subconscious mind. That means it gets beyond your rational thought and it seeps into your soul and your spirit. And there's all this confusion about the solutions for the struggle in Palestine. So I'm going to tell you the solution 7 times. And every time somebody asks you about a ceasefire, you're going to know what to say. When they tell you we need to lobby Congress, you're going to know what to say. When they say we need to just be nonviolent, you're going to know what to say. All right? So here we go. Smash Zionism. 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 As always, our party wants to thank you for joining us at African Liberation Day. Baltimore has the longest continuously running African Liberation Day event in the United States. It has moved from day to day, from this day to that day, from this form to that form, from this park to that park. But it always takes place in Baltimore. There's an African Liberation Day. So we want to thank you for joining us for African Liberation Day. We want to thank you for sitting here and listening and paying attention to the presentations that have been made. We want to ask you to join an organization that's working for your people. And we want to say to you as we close out all of our presentations by simply stating, we stand with you, ready for the revolution. Thank you very much.